Well, all right. So I like making these videos. I like working out, and I think that's a declaration, as opposed to I have to work out. You know, it's. I think there's a difference in mentality now to where instead of having to work out, you now like working out, and there's even another mentality that I'm going to mention here in a moment. I'm going to write it down to now hating working out. And I know I have a buddy of mine that hates working out, but I'll go into that in a second. But I do think that there's a progress to like, I got to get up and do this. I got to get up and go work out because I have to. And now it's like you get to a point where like it's neutral to where like I'm working out, I'm doing my thing, and I don't mind it now. And again, this is from the very beginning when I was starting to upload, how I have everything basically. There's no excuses for me to not work out. As far as all the equipment is right there, it's in my living room. I just pick it up and I just got to sit down and start doing the thing. And then it goes into, okay, now I like working out. Now there's, everybody talks about these endorphins being released when you work out, this, that, and the other. And it's funny because you feel like a wimp when you work out. And I do. Small weights, just exercise. And you do, you do it until, at this point, I'm doing it until I kind of get tired. Not really to the point where I'm pushing myself crazy. But I'm now up. I'm not sure on this. This video is on the the 23rd of April in 2025. I've now increased my sets to 5 sets, and it is for me a challenge to get through them now, especially since and I'll upload those videos are coming up later on. I am recording this on the 11th of May, and yes, I'm back. I'm backlogged and uploading my workout videos and holding myself accountable for the content creating part of it, but I'm doing a really good job as far as doing the workouts all the time, so I'm good there. I might not upload them all the time, but they're there, and I'm also, of course, doing a good job of recording myself. It's all part of this process that I have where I push record, get the weights, sit on the bike, and start going, right? But now I think I like it, and I think I think from going from I like it to the next step is probably I look forward to it, and as opposed to that's a difference to like I'm looking forward to going to the gym for other reasons or whatever, meet people, look at people, what have you. But now I'm not quite as far as like, man, I can't wait to work out tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I'm somewhere stuck in between where okay, I like it. Again, all these little weights, I feel like a wimp working out, but after it, when I'm coming down and I have my chocolate milk and I'm like, oh man, that felt pretty good. Your muscles are all like, feel like you worked out. You put in a little bit of sweat now, because of the exercises that I've done now. I'm starting to, I'm not like a sweater. I'm not like a sweater. I don't sweat a whole lot. I got a couple of friends that, man, they just look at something and they just start sweating. It takes a lot for me to start sweating in the sense of exercise. I do sweat a lot, like, depending on where I'm at, like in the south of Mexico where it's very humid. I do, I just step outside and it's just a sweat fest, But that's because the humidity is so high and you just kind of have to. But in quote-unquote normal weather, I really have to be doing a lot in order to start sweating. And now I'm at the point to where the sweat is starting to, it's not a whole big old, stream of sweat coming down my face, but it definitely is to where the clothes are moist. They've caught on. They've grabbed moisture, if you will. But yeah, we're getting there. I think to where it went from I don't mind it to now I like it, and I think that's good. I think that's a good place to have. Where I don't want to get to though is that I have a friend, and what's funny is that this guy never really played any sports, and this is one of the things that kind of weirds me out about. I guess you would call it bodybuilding in a sense to where he may not be a professional bodybuilder. He's not going after the gold or going after Mr. Olympia or anything like that. But he definitely is very into having big muscles. All right, so that's where I'm getting the bodybuilder from. And he started off as a kid, and he wasn't scrawny or anything. He was more of my brother's friend, and he's 3 years younger than me. And 3 years younger than you in high school it's kind of a big difference in junior high and high school, right? But we always played basketball. Back in those days, we played a lot of basketball, and he was actually pretty good. He was never super tall, but he was really athletic, and we played a lot of basketball. And that's how my brother and him became friends, and at one point became best friends. And he was a good kid, man. He really was. And he still is, but there's just something where his brain broke somewhere in between to where now he's like, I don't give a fuck guy. And all he does is work and go to the gym. And I think it's cost him a lot because he's also was really into steroids. And the steroids, everything that you hear that's bad about steroids, it happened to him. From balls being small to his hair loss to him being angry all the time. And he knew it. He just couldn't stop taking them. He had to stop taking them for a while because him and his wife wanted to get pregnant. They couldn't do it. They had to do, his sperm count was way too low. And we're talking, he's trying in his late 20s, early 30s, and he's already showing big signs. Yet, his chest and his muscles are just absolutely out of control. They're big. And we talked to him sometime now, and a couple of years later, and he's really, I hate working out. I really do, but I have to do it. He's worked out and lifts so much weight, and it's so heavy that all his joints are all fucked up. He can't, I'm not sure, I haven't talked to him in a good 10 years now. I don't know where he's at in life. I hope he's doing well. I'm going to actually ask my brother to see if he's heard anything about him. But he was not in a good place. His shoulders, his elbows, and his wrists were all out of whack because of the amount of weight that he was lifting. His body couldn't take it anymore, but he couldn't stop because he needed to go to the gym. He needed to get bigger. He was self-conscious about his size. And I'm like, God damn, how do you get to that point from... I watched this guy grow up. And I'm wondering what happened. And I don't think, and here's, I'm not blaming the gym. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not sitting there and blaming gyms and going, oh, see what happens when you work out too much or this, that, and the other. I think that at some point, it was a good thing that he had the gym, because obviously my friend is psychologically fucked up. So he needed somewhere to go, I think, in the beginning. And now, because he saw results, he just can't stop going to the gym. And there's other things that I can't get into about him. But yeah, he got to the point where he really hates working out, but he has to do it. And that is surreal to me. That's beyond my comprehension of doing something that you started off loving and now you hate. And he told us, and I wish I could stop. I don't want to work out anymore, but I have to do it. And I'm like, man, that is just something else, So I don't want to get to that point. And again, I don't think that it has anything to do with exercising and being in the gym. It's just the psychology of what's going on with him upstairs is something completely different. There are those guys that are like absolutely crazy about working out. There's the guy that runs all the time. I believe his last name is Groggins. I'm not sure, but he's an extremely and I call him an extreme motivational speaker, talking about what the human body can do. How he at one point couldn't do anything, and now he's running 4 or 5 marathons and one in a 24-hour period. He's doing crazy shit like that, right? He's bulked up his body to the point where, not bulked up in a sense to where like he's a big guy, but his endurance is absolutely crazy. And that's another level of motivation that I probably will never achieve and don't want to achieve. I think we all need to work out. Absolutely. We all need to do exercise, and we all need to move our body around, and that's absolutely something that I've neglected for the past years on a big scale. But at the same time, it shouldn't be the end-all, be-all of ourselves. I mean, I'm looking... I got YouTube playing in the background of some crazy stuff that I'll talk about on another episode of my workout. And we, as a nation, or as America as a nation, we're getting, and Mexico too. To be honest with you, we're getting a little crazy with our habits and neglecting some good stuff and paying attention to too much bad stuff, if you know what I mean. But it's just something we need to get back to. Make our bodies great again, if you will. But yeah, that's what I was actually just thinking about right now, about my buddy and how much time, money he is wasting on something that he hates and just somehow has to do. And you start to think of yourself like, well, at least he's not doing drugs, right? Or at least, if you had that kind of mentality, you're not... I mean, if you take away the steroids, I guess, that might be good. But I'll get into another episode about what I think about the sad part I think about working out. There's just some things that have happened in my life in first person that I'm like, this is insane. Why is that happening? But I'll leave it there for this one. Thank you for listening. Me jabber around this thing. Take it easy and enjoy your youth.